Oh, we've got our first participant. Fantastic.
Love it.
Excellent.
We'll give it just a few seconds here.
That's always me in Zoom meetings. I want to be the first in there to make sure that I'm there and ready. I don't want to miss a single thing.
Right? Yeah. Well, you missed those important housekeeping instructions. So
Yeah.
I think I will start kicking it off here. We might have some more people joining us and streaming into the room as we go. My name is Caitlin Losey. I am a WACAC board member, so that's the Wisconsin Association for College Admissions Counseling, which is putting on this fantastic college exploration, virtual college exploration program in conjunction with StriveScan. So thank you for joining us this evening to learn a little bit more about University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point. I'm going to go through just a few housekeeping items for you. As you're entering the room today, you might notice that your camera is off and you are muted. That is on purpose. That keeps the bandwidth going for all of us and a good experience for everybody. The way that you are going to interact with our fantastic panelists today is via the Q&A function. So you can answer or you can ask questions via that Q&A function as we go this evening. Panelists will try to answer all questions throughout the evening, but if we don't get to something, then there will be an opportunity to follow up offline at a later date. Two other PSAs, head over to wacac.com, that is wacac.com, for two reasons. Sign up for some more sessions. We do have the end of this week as well as next week to go. And you can also find recordings at that site. So recordings of this session if you need to go back and listen again, or recordings of sessions that perhaps you weren't able to attend. With that, I'm going to stop my screen share and disappear for 45 minutes and turn it over to our panelists.
All right, thank you, Katie. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen now so we can check out the cool presentation that we have for you all today. I'll go ahead and introduce myself, and then my fellow coworkers will follow suit. So my name is Aaron Zimmerman. I am an admissions counselor and recruiter for the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point. I'm alumni of UWSP. I graduated in 2019 with a degree in communication. And so I'll let the people who are with me tonight, my family, come and introduce themselves. So Jordan, you want to take it off?
Oh, thank you, Aaron. Hey, everyone. My name is Jordan Kellogg. I'm also one of the admissions counselors here on campus. I am also a recent graduate in 2018. I grew up in Stevens Point for about 10 years of my life, so know the city of Stevens Point very well. And without further ado, the best of all three of us. Ashley, you want to say what's up to everyone?
Hi guys, my name is Ashley Gates and I am the lead ambassador of communication for our admissions and recruitment office. I am actually a student at UWSP, so I'm happy to provide student experience, and I'm one of our student supervisors for the admissions team.
Excellent, thank you both. And just so you know, you can text us your questions. We actually have a phone. Jordan's holding on to it. Text us your questions if you maybe don't want to answer them in the Q&A, or if you just want to send us a question about something completely unrelated, or if you have questions for Ashley specifically about student life, or if we just don't get to your question. That's what this number is for, and it will be throughout the presentation as we go. So if you're scrambling to try and write down this number right now, you will see it later as we go through. So don't freak out. But so just going through, I want to explain about what does it mean to discover your purpose? Why is UWSP all about helping you discover your purpose? And it's because from a very long time, like I'm sure you've been asked the question in your life, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And, you know, people always have some sort of idea in the back of their head, but they never really know where they're going to go with it. And that's what UWSP is here for, is we're going to help you discover your purpose, not just your major, but what do you do with that major to change the world in the end. So that's what our academic advisors will do. That's what Jordan and I are here for. That is what Ashley is here for. We're here to help guide you on your path to discover your purpose. And we're going to explain, this presentation is just going to kind of explain about how the different pieces and aspects of UWSP are going to help you do that. So the first thing I want to just address is we have 5 different colleges on our campus. And now colleges, meaning they are the different departments that house the different majors that we have here at UWSP. So we have like our College of Letters and Science is home to things like our English, the humanities, our sciences like chemistry, biology, a lot of like the medical field. If you want to get into the sciences of things, that is what's in the College of Letters and Science. One of the things that's really great about our College of Letters and Science is that they have so many different research opportunities. And we also have our new chemistry biology building, which has state-of-the-art equipment that is going to assist you. Like they have like special machinery that can measure, like I think it's like 1/18 a grain of salt. So imagine a little bead of salt, it can measure 1/18 of that. So that's just one of the beautiful things about our College of Letters and Science. But we also have, if you're not so much into the sciences, you're more into the letters, we also have our like majors like English and literature. One of the cool things about UWSP, I'm sorry, I'm going to say that a lot. There's a lot of cool things, but I think the coolest thing about our College of Letters and Science is the student-run publishing, like, I don't know if it's a company, publishing company. It's called Cornerstone Press. It's 100% student-run. We're actually one of 4 universities in the whole nation that actually has a student-run publishing company. And the students will do everything that goes into making print material. So the selecting the material, the editing the material, you know, choosing the author, working with the author, creating the artwork for the cover of the book, creating the events to kind of like host the book launch, even working with like companies like Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and like getting the book actually out there so that people can buy it. So you can actually go and find books that were printed at UWSP on Amazon right now. We also have our College of Professional Studies. This is home to our amazing School of Education. UWSP is ranked #1 in the Midwest for education and #2 in the nation by study.com. And what is it that makes us so good at education has got to be, well, we started as a education school way back in 1894. We were a school that taught teachers how to teach. But also, I think the biggest thing that makes our school so great for education would be a woman named Maggie Bieber. She is the head academic advisor, no relation to Justin Bieber, but she plans out every single semester for our education students. She knows what certifications that they should have to be the best educators. She'll make sure that they get to conventions and things to make sure that they're up to date on all the technology that's going into the modern classroom. But she also recently has been working to get rid of barriers that are preventing a lot of educators from going into the field. So, you know, expensive tests that educators might have to go through, she got rid of it. She found loopholes that only UWSP has to go around to make sure that we are still cranking out the best educators in the Midwest. We also have our College of Fine Arts and Communication. This is home to actually Ashley's major. Ashley, do you want to talk a little bit about what makes your major great?
Of course. Well, I am a graphic design major, so I spend a lot of my time in the College of Fine Arts and Communications, actually the majority of it. So I have found so many different ways that I've gotten to be involved in different projects and different organizations that I wouldn't have had if I didn't come to Stevens Point. Even just in my second year here, I am already involved in several different projects and I've had my stuff published, which is super exciting. So I've gotten all of that hands-on experience within the first 4 semesters that I was here, and my very first experience with it was in my very first semester. It was the first time that I actually got to work with a company and design things for them. So it's something that I haven't been able to find anywhere else.
Thank you, Ashley. One thing I totally forgot to mention at the beginning of this, if you see the number down in the bottom corner of this slide, text us your major. I want to see, you know, what majors we're looking at tonight, and we can talk a little bit more about that towards the end of the presentation. But let us know what you're thinking about majoring in, and if you don't know, there's a plan for that. But the College of Fine Arts and Communication also houses our School of Design, where we have like interior design, interior architecture. So if you're someone who's creative and you want to like do things with buildings and interior design, they have a very intense hands-on program where you'll actually be going out into the community and like you'll be refurbishing houses, helping businesses kind of redesign their space. A close friend of mine, she was actually a lead ambassador last year. She actually helped us design the new visitor center that we're going to be opening on our campus. Another reason why you should come check us out. We're going to be having a visitor center open up this fall, and she actually worked with design firms to kind of confirm like what UWSP wants in this visitor center and what's like actually feasible, how much is it going to cost, what's the timeline. They teach you the whole business aspect behind the art. But there's all that and more in the College of Fine Arts and Communication. So many opportunities. UWSP is smack dab in the middle of a very thick, heavy, art appreciating community. And then also we have our College of Natural Resources. One of the things that we're very well known for is having so many different opportunities for our students to get hands-on in the natural resource field. We got forestry, urban planning, we have chemical engineering and paper sciences, wildlife ecology, and more. But we're ranked among the best in the nation in our natural resources because we have different field stations that students can go and get more deeper into their natural resource field. So like, for example, I don't know if anyone's from Tomahawk, Wisconsin. Give us a shout out in the text if you are, but Tomahawk, Wisconsin is home to UWSP's Tree Haven. It's like a summer camp for adults where students get to go for a couple weeks in the summer and just dive in again with hands-on opportunities to explore something in their major. But there's all that and more. I know that we will we'll talk a little bit more about natural resources as we move along. Jordan, you have anything to add?
And I love what you're saying, Aaron, because I totally agree with all these programs. And, you know, to me, UWSP is just a very unique just university as a whole, because you have these 4 different colleges right here. And you, like Aaron said, the biggest college of natural resource in North America, and right next to it is the only fully accredited fine arts college in the state of Wisconsin. And you have dancers hanging out with the forestry majors, and then you go over to the letters and sciences, and you're going through this new chemistry and biology building with some of the top STEM programs here in the state of Wisconsin. And then, as Aaron mentioned, education and business, some of our fully accredited programs as well, and super strong in these areas. So it's a very unique blend, and we have over 100 different majors on campus. For our size, we have a lot of different programs. So if you are kind of curious and trying to explore different programs, UWSP has a lot of different options for our students. And these are like our 4 pillars of campus, and what holds us all together, Aaron will show in the next slide, is our university college. And Aaron, I know you know a lot about university college, so I'll let you take it over.
Heck yeah. Before we get to that, that reminds me, I forgot to mention that in our College of Professional Studies, the School of Business actually works with a lot of huge partnerships, like major businesses, like large companies. Like, for example, we got Skyward is located right here in Stevens Point. So if your a high school uses Skyward grading database, that is their home base is here. So they use a lot of our like computer technologies, computer sciences, business majors, a lot of different majors on our campus end up going to Skyward. We also have Century Insurance. You might not have heard of them before, but they're a huge insurance company that insures a lot of like travel, trucking, and a lot of like businesses and companies down south. We also have Delta Dental, another insurance company, AIG Travel Guard, another large like travel agency insurance company. We also work with companies across the state, like there's Berkshire Hathaway, there's also Baker Tilly and Greenheck in Madison. Those are all companies that our School of Business and Economics have partnerships with, that oftentimes our students are getting internships with, then placement for jobs afterwards. But yes, Jordan raised a good point. And up next, we have our university college. And so if you're wondering why it says 5 colleges, 1 purpose, but there's only 4 pictures, that's because, boom, the university college deserves its own picture. This is Albertson Hall on our campus. And while being our library, it's also the university college. It houses so many different academic support services for our students. One of my favorite things being the Academic Career Advising Center. The ACAC is where students can go if they don't really know where to go. So if you texted, I don't know if Jordan, if anybody texted us their major, but if anybody texted undeclared or undecided, or if deep down you're like, I'm kind of checking out business, but I don't really know, check out the Academic Career Advising Center, because they have a 3-semester plan for you where you'll kind of like get a sample of the different things that you like or love or are passionate about, but don't really know where you want to go with them. And then by the 3rd semester, you'll know which direction you want to go. You'll graduate with a degree program, and you're also going to know what careers you can go into with that degree. I was actually undeclared for a hot minute. because I came in and I thought I wanted to do elementary education because I thought I would be a great third grade teacher. But then I quickly found out that I don't have the patience to work with kids, and I also don't have the organizational skills. So I was like, I can't do this. But I undeclared, and I was probably undeclared for about a month. That's how long I was undeclared. I didn't need to go through the whole 3-semester plan. They worked with me. They did, they just asked me like, what are your likes, interests, hobbies, and even childhood dreams? And they asked me like, they're like, what did you want to be when you're little? And I was like, I wanted to find Bigfoot, but we don't have a major for that. I guess maybe wildlife ecology, but I was like, no, we don't have cryptozoology here. And so they kind of pinpointed communication for me, and that's what I ended up graduating with, because I went into a course and I tested it out. I was kind of exploring it, learning about what is communication, and I fell in love with it. I went back to my academic advisor a week later after I transferred into that class, and I was like, this is it. I'm sold. I'm done. Check, please. Ready to go. And that's what I graduated with. But Jordan, you got something to add?
No, you're hitting everything on all cylinders, and I think this is a really just a great spot. From an academic standpoint, this is kind of like that academic hub for you. For you to help find a program that fits best for you, as well as everything that we need from an academic standpoint. At least you see on the screen, the Tutoring Learning Center, Disability and Assistive Technology Office, the International Education Office, all these different resources for our students here, and mostly at Albertson Hall that you can find all this resources. So when you do come to campus, you'll see that all of our academic buildings are in one central location, and that Albertson Hall is located right there for an easy access for those fun late night study days or early morning study days. Albertson is a great resource for our students.
Definitely. One of my favorite things was to go and study during a snowstorm on the top floor of Albertson, because it's so tall, just seeing the snow fall from that high. Also, yeah, like,
I would be
sorry,
in my room. It'd be a little too cold for me outside in the snow. But
I thrive for the winter. But hey, if anybody else out there, anybody watching, if you're a winter person like me, text us and let us know that. Otherwise, if you're more of a hothouse orchid like Jordan and you need the desert heat, text him that. But the Tutoring Learning Center is a great resource if you maybe aren't that great in a subject, or maybe you are and you want to make sure that you maintain those grades. You can use the Tutoring and Learning Center to not only help you in subjects, but also they have writing labs to assist to make sure that your papers are as golden as your mom thinks they are. So, Ashley, you got something to add?
Absolutely. So we recently did a survey, and we found that about 1/3 of our students actually utilize the Tutoring and Learning Center. And all I can say is that it should be way higher, because those students who utilize it score consistently higher than their peers who don't. I know I've gone a couple of times. They helped me out a lot with macroeconomics, because I am terrible at math. It's one of the things that I wish I was good at with all of my heart, but I just am not. I am a writing person. I'm an art person, but beside the point. It is just fantastic. When I was in high school, I thought the tutoring was like a dirty word. Like, I was like, I'm too smart to go to tutoring. No one, and I mean no one, is too smart to go to tutoring. Even if you have a B in a class, if you want to boost your GPA, if you wanted to get an A, those people in the Tutoring and Learning Center are more than happy to help you out. We don't have TAs, and if we did, they would be the people in the TLC. Those are current students that already took the course that you're taking with the professor you're taking it with. They were personally approached by that professor because they absolutely wowed them when they were in that class. So they're the people that know it just as well as the I shouldn't say just as well as the professor, but like, professor, your tutors. I strongly recommend it.
Definitely a great resource on campus. We also have the Disability Assistive Technology Center, or DATC. This is for both visible and invisible disabilities. So if you, say, are in a sport and you break your leg, how are you going to get around campus? They can provide you with crutches if you don't already have them, scooters. If you want to scoot to class, you can get a scooter. They also will make sure that they will wake up at the crack of dawn, look at your class schedule, they'll access your class schedule, and then contact our facility services to make sure there's a clear path, if it's winter time, like snow shoveled from your residence hall all the way to all of your academic buildings. So you will have a clear path to and from all of your classes that day. Their biggest goal is to make sure that you don't have anything in the way of your education and your success. Also, if you have like test anxiety, or if you need a little bit extra more time, that's what they're there for. So It's a free resource for you to use, the DATC. And then we also have the Office of International Education. This is there for all like study abroad. So if you want to go see the world and go explore, we have a lot of great opportunities. They can connect you with financial aid. That's a common misconception, is that I can't afford I can't afford the trip to Spain or whatever. They have scholarships and financial aid that they can hook you up with. And actually, some trips are actually cheaper than studying here in the U.S., if you can believe. Hard to believe that the U.S. charges a lot for education, but you can go to Poland for cheaper than it would be to stay here and get educated at a university. So check out the different opportunities that you can go study abroad. That's the number one regret by students who have graduated, is that they didn't take an opportunity to go see what they could do studying abroad. All right, next thing, this is one of my favorite slides to talk about, is the community surrounding the campus. So here you're actually looking at a kind of a drone shot of our campus, and you can see the city of Stevens Point around us. I, for one, have always loved the community of Stevens Point. Growing up, I lived in a town that was about 20 minutes away, but similar in size and shape of Stevens Point, but nothing alike. They were polar opposites. And it's cool to see how the community is made up of so many like alumni and faculty and just people who love the university. They are known for treating our students like their family and part of the community, because they are. We actually did some research and found that a lot of other universities, they count their students who are going to universities in their town, they are tourists. They are there to get an education, make a mess and be loud and whatever, and then they leave when it's off season for education. So here though, you're counted in the ballots. They will invite you to the town council meetings. They want you at the events that are held by the town. You should see how this town celebrates a holiday. But I want Ashley, can you tell us a little bit about what do you love about the community of Stevens Point?
I love just about everything. Actually, today I went into my very favorite boutique in town and they recognized me and called me by name, which was almost a little bit scary. I was like, okay, I spend a little too much time in here, but it was awesome because it's one of those things that I'm from a little ways outside of Chicago. I'm from a pretty big town. I'm from a town of 45,000 people. And I have never been like a regular at a store before where they know my name. They know why I'm there. They know that they can like talk with me. It's just the most incredible feeling. And it made my day to like walk in and have them say, hey, Ashley, how's it going? But I love that so many of our community are former Pointers. So many people come and they absolutely fall in love with Stevens Point and they just never end up leaving, or they stay for a long time after they graduate. I know that that's what I'm hoping to do when I graduate, is to just hang around for a little while more, because I have never fallen in love with a place like I fell in love with Stevens Point. Yeah. I love the community in terms of, actually, I gave a tour today to a basketball recruit, and the basketball coaches gave me Belts Bucks, which is a coupon for one of our local ice cream places, which is like, it's synonymous with Stevens Point. I love both of our ice cream places that we have here that are competing, but it really shows that they appreciate our students here in Stevens Point.
Thank you, Ashley. Yeah, you got to be careful with what you say, because I am a Carl Dees fan. And just for everyone who has not visited our community before, just a heads up, there's a kind of a bit of a rivalry that could actually put the Hatfields and the McCoys to shame. So come check out the Stevens Point community and decide which you are. Are you a Carl Dees fan or a Belts fan? And they're actually a block apart from each other. So try both and make a decision.
For the record, I also love Carl Dees. I am just a big fan of ice cream.
All right, Ashley, you're walking on thin ice. Jordan, what do you love about the community?
Well, you know, Aaron, I grew up here for growing up, so I know about the community very well. Grew up coming to Stevens Point on the campus. So, you know, what I love about Stevens Point, me growing up as well in a city atmosphere, I love Stevens Point for the connections that you have to the city. Anything that you would like from a city. We are not just one small town in the middle of nowhere. As you can see, we have a lot of stuff, and this is just a small part of Stevens Point. So you have a lot of things that you want from a city, like food, because we love to eat, shopping, all these different areas. It is a college town, so everything is super accessible for our students. But what I love as well is the nature aspect of it. Having Schmeekley Reserve, which is a 280-acre nature reserve, which you'll see a picture later of that. Then you have that. I can sit outside and see the stars at night as well as hearing sounds from a city. And, I love the mix of both. And that goes from a fun standpoint, but that also goes from a school standpoint and academic standpoint. That's an internships, working throughout college. You have a lot of opportunities here at Stevens Point to get involved, and our community loves pointers. They love UWSP and are actively looking for our college students to hire them during college and after they graduate as well.
Yeah.
And even when you are a pointer, like even just going to a restaurant, a lot of them will offer pointer discounts. All you have to do is show them your ID and you'll get like $5 off of your meal, or you'll get like a 10% off of whatever you order at like Cold Stone, for example. I don't actually know if it's 10%, but I think it's something close.
It's usually around 10 to 15%. But yeah, I love the community. We love the community here, and it's one of the things that actually makes UWSP is so great. It's how supportive they are, and like I mentioned before, like a lot of them are alumni who are like me, and someday like Ashley, who graduated from here. Some of them went off and saw the world, then they came back because they wanted to put their roots down here, and they want to support and help out any way that they can. Sometimes providing internship opportunities at their businesses, or sometimes leaving scholarships for us. If they're a little bit like older alumni, they might donate some more money if they made it big. They donate scholarships to our campus to help out current students on our campus. So if you want to see more of our community, you definitely got to come visit. I mean, look at this picture. I actually have this picture. This is my background on my computer, but it is actually this beautiful in person. So you got to come see it. Now my computer's being glitchy. It won't go to the next slide. Come on. There we go. Okay, so UWSP is also very well known for helping you get hands-on, not just in our natural resource field, but you are going to get experience. So for like the College of Letters and Science, you're going to be working with a lot of the high-tech technology in those labs and working with the chemicals and getting so many research opportunities to help kind of like let you like spread your wings before you even graduate. In our College of Professional Studies, another thing that makes our education program so great is that you get into practicum, which is your student like observation time. You get into that your freshman year. So freshman year, you are working in the classrooms with the kiddos, observing how the teachers teach. So while I never became an education degree earner, I really did like that when I was going for the education degree. I was like, wow, this is actually pretty cool that I was this huge 6'4" guy, trying to sit at those little tables in a kindergarten classroom, but talking to them about what they liked about school and what they liked about their teacher and what their favorite thing to do in class was. Also in our College of Fine Arts and Communication, lots of hands-on opportunities there. Stevens Point is a very art-focused, art-centered community. So if if there's opportunities on campus, yes, but there's even more opportunities out in the community. There's art galleries, there's museums. We actually have, since we're very outdoorsy and nature-centered, we have an entire park. There's an entire trail that winds through the woods on the north end of Stevens Point, and all along the trail are sculptures made by students or alumni or just people who want to contribute to Sculpture Park. So when you do come check out the community, go check out Sculpture Park. It's a really cool place, really peaceful place full of beautiful art. There's also 3 major opportunities for if you're going into anything communication related. There's our school newspaper to give you journalistic aspects. There's 90 FM if you want to get into music production, music editing, if you want to be a talk show host on the radio. One of the things that I found out is we actually have an ambassador who's on a radio show called Politicking Me Off. And it's a non-biased radio show that talks about what's going on in politics right now. That is politicking you off. So he's a part of that, and he talks regularly on that show to kind of give his opinions on what's going on. There's also our world's largest trivia festival happens here in Stevens Point, hosted by that radio station, and you can get hands-on experience working with how broadcasting works and helping out with this huge event over the radio. And then we also have SPTV, which is a TV station on our campus where students can get a handle on not only sound effects and all the equipment that goes into a TV station, but also video editing and inserting clips and B-roll and also being a front face on the camera, showing off your pretty face as the next TV show host. See if you can be the next Ellen. Ashley, you got something to add?
I was just gonna say, going back to like our art opportunities specifically, I know that personally I have received 3 emails already and the school year has not even started about, hey, this company reached out and they really want a mural. Can anyone in the art department do it? Does anyone want this experience? Does anyone want to get paid to put this super cool mural together for this company? And that's true with business opportunities. They'll say, hey, I'm a business minor, so I get those emails too. They'll be like, hey, we need an intern for this position. You will be paid, you will not be paid. You'll get this experience in this field. It happens all the time. I get emails daily telling me, hey, we have this job opportunity for you. And it's really awesome.
Yeah, it is great, and I could go on and on about the different hands-on opportunities, but definitely come check out our campus, and you can see like where your major kind of fits into our community and what we got for you to get hands-on. Okay, there we go. Another big thing that I love to stress, and I'm sure, Jordan, you probably do this too with your students, but any students I work with, I make sure to drill it into your head that you should get involved in clubs and organizations on our campus. So be it sports or just interesting clubs, to kind of just give your resume some spice. Because I always say that, you know, like anybody can get a degree, so to speak, in whatever field that you want to go into. But like if you go into a search and screen committee or a hiring firm or whatever, if you're on in a group of like 20 applicants, how are you going to stand out against those 20 different applicants or the 4 applicants or even just a one other applicant? How are you going to bring the competition? It's with spice in your resume. How do you make a spicy resume? You get involved in clubs and organizations. I say get in one wacky wild club. Like we used to have the ukulele and tree climbing club, or we've had like, Ashley, what are some other like interesting clubs that we have on campus?
Well, we have the YouTube Society that is actually run by one of my fellow coworkers, one of our ambassadors. Just because he's super interested in YouTube, he loves operating YouTube. He wants to like go to VidCon is what it's called. He wants to do all that fun stuff. There's also the Herpetology Society, which I'm a part of. You can see down in the left corner there. I actually know him. He just graduated with a degree in captive wildlife, and he's holding tegu that we used to have here. He actually just went back home. He was on a loan. But just there's tons of things that you can get involved in, even if you don't want to make that your life. Like I don't want to make reptiles my life. I want to make art my life, but I want to make art that helps animals as well, like things like for wildlife sanctuaries or for adoptions, like just all that jazz.
Jordan, you got something in?
No, Ashley is so right. Now, I love Herpetology Society, but my friend Tim is also in that program, and Tim likes to carry a snake around his arm. I love Tim, but when Tim has the snake, I step away just a little bit further, maybe that 6 feet distance at that time. But you were, I mean, both of you, Aaron, you hit it on the head, you know, nail on the head. Getting involved is super important. One, it's going to be a fun experience for you. It's going to be a huge resume booster. It's not always what you do in the classroom, but also what you do outside the classroom. And getting involved is something super big. I'll also give you the inside scoop. Aaron and I and our whole entire staff, we are the only staff on campus that plays intramural sports. Aaron and I, we play trench ball, which is like ultimate dodgeball, but you're getting hit from balls in all different directions. So if you ever want to hit your admissions counselors in the face, we play intramural trench ball. But there's a lot of different fun intramural sports. There's club sports. There are some fun, weird, wacky ones. If we don't have something, as Ashley mentioned, one of our students started their own club. You can start your own club and organization on campus. We were going to start, that same student that started the YouTube club was going to start Squirrel Club, because apparently our squirrels are different than every other squirrel in the world.
They're big.
They're huge. So we wanted to start a squirrel club. So if you love squirrels, it is super easy to start clubs and organizations on campus. So, you know, definitely do that. A lot of opportunities within the stuff outside, because we know that the college experience is a lot more than just going to class. So getting involved is a huge, huge advantage.
And we don't just have sports and lizards, we also have Greek life. We have chapters of different charities. We have volunteer organizations. We have so much on campus. Currently, we have about 190 organizations currently functioning on our campus. So if I can find a reptile on campus, you can find something that's perfect for you, I promise.
I was reminded today that we have lumberjack and lumberjill sports. So if you want to get involved in lumberjack or lumberjill sports, we're the place to do it. But moving on. So this is this is actually a picture of our residence hall on campus. If you want to know about resident life, like what is it like living in the residence halls, sharing a room, and I would recommend you come check out our campus and you can see this beautiful room at a regular angle. But also I'm going to defer over to Ashley, who is a current student on our campus. Like, what is it like? What is life like living in the residence halls? And also text us your questions, drop your questions in the Q&A. But Ashley, take it away. What's campus life like?
So campus life, I think, is really unique here. Everyone is ridiculously friendly in Stevens Point, and coming from a little ways outside Chicago, I'm not super used to that. People will leave their doors open to their room. You can come in and you can just be like, "Hi, I'm Ashley. I live down the hall. Like, do you want to go get belts, or do you want to go get Carl D's? Do you want to go to Polito's, which is one of our great local pizza places?" There's so many different ways that just the students interact with one another. And a lot of that takes place in the halls. Your RA, your residential advisor, or resident assistant, rather, will put on different events throughout the semester, just saying, "Hey, I'm going to Polito's. Anyone want to come with me? Hey, I'm going to go and watch a movie in the DUC," which, by the way, our movies that we have on campus are free with your student ID. Name a better price, right? So they'll say, "Hey, I'm going to see this movie. You want to come with me?" And so we just are very, very involved with one another in the residence halls.
Thank you, Ashley. And again, come check us out. Drop your questions in the text. The phone number down here is down here at the bottom, but also drop it in the Q&A if you have any questions about campus life, and Ashley can tell you about it. But we got to move on here, and I have next is UWSP is well known for a lot of different programs that I've mentioned today, but we are also very well known for being sustainable. We're actually ranked among the top 10 greenest campuses in the nation, not in the state, in the nation. We, I think, have been in the 5th and 6th place for the last 8 years. And this is by Princeton Review, mind you. The Princeton University doesn't even make it on the list, but we are 5th and 6th place on top 10 greenest campuses in the nation. One of the reasons being is we run 100% on renewable and sustainable energy. So meaning if we don't make the energy ourselves, we can buy the energy. We have solar panels on our residence halls. We compost like crazy. We have also recently gone strawless on our campus. So we provide metal straws in the different spaces, or you can do like a strawless cup. We also went trayless, and now the only place we have plastic water bottles. We actually only have plastic soda bottles, but we've recently gone bottleless. So you can't get any plastic bottled water on campus. It's canned in aluminum cans, and I think it tastes fresher than any plastic bottle. But so we also recycle like crazy, and what's really cool and really neat to see is how when UWSP does something, the community kind of emulates and recreates it. So as we put solar panels up, you saw businesses and restaurants putting solar panels up. When we went strawless, they followed suit. So we think green. We want to help the future, make the world a better place, and we incorporate that into all of our programs. So be it all the way from business and economics all the way through education to arts, we find some way to tie in the environment and how to help the world in one way or another. We're also a bee-friendly campus, so our campus is registered as one spot in the nation where we have all plants. Every flower and plant has been selected to benefit pollinators like hummingbirds, bumblebees, honeybees, and any other major pollinators. So save the bees. Think green. Think UWSP. This picture that you see on the screen right now is actually a picture of our 280-acre natural reserve on campus. Schmeekley Reserve is there for our students to go enjoy. There's hiking paths, gravel paths, dirt paths, hidden paths, if you look hard enough, that will take you to some really cool places. And recently, Stevens Point recently created a kind of a mini art project that everyone's involved in. It's called Stevens Point Rocks. And so you can find little painted rocks that are super intricate and creative that little kids have made and community members have made. Some of our art departments made. My favorite is someone recently did Halloween themed, and I'm it's a little early, but it's still really cool to find the rocks all over campus and in Schmeekley. So come check it out. That's another thing that you'll have to see when you come check out our community. And then here are some important dates. If anybody in the presentation right now is a senior, these are dates that you need to keep in mind. So August 1st, which already happened this year, you can begin applying your senior year of high school. You can apply to UWSP. And right now, if you are a senior, you can apply for free. It's a free application until the 31st. You can still apply afterwards, but it's not going to be free anymore. So make sure that you go ahead and apply now. October 1st, you can begin filling out your financial aid. FAFSA is the application that you go through. If you ever get stuck, that's what Jordan and I are for. We can help connect you to people who will be able to get you unstuck. So make sure you get that application in sooner rather than later, because you can get a bigger slice of the pie than if you were to wait till later. November 15th is the merit-based scholarship priority deadline. And fun fact, you can get up to $4,000 renewable scholarship if you have a good ACT and good GPA. Most of them start at like a 22 ACT and a 3.0 GPA. So if you're like, I got that, you could get up to $4,000. There's also a smaller $2,000 scholarship if you maybe have like a semi-decent ACT and a good GPA or some sort of culmination. Check it out. It's on our website. You can see more on different scholarships available to our students.
And if you're curious, when Aaron just said the ACT scores and the GPAs, and if you're curious, well, what do I need to just get into the university? Our average GPA is about a 3.3 and our average ACT is about a 22. And you can bold, highlight, underline average, because we've seen students above that, we've seen students below that. Please do not ask me what my ACT score is. We are trying to have happy, positive thoughts today. So, but individually message us, reach out to us, and we'd love to have those conversations with you as well.
Yeah, my goal was to beat. I had two older sisters, and being the baby of the family, my goal was to beat my two older sisters, and I did that. So I'm proud of my ACT score, even if it wasn't a 22 or 20. Anyways, so we want you to come visit campus. If you haven't been getting these subliminal messages, come visit campus. So how's that for subliminal? But come visit our campus. Come check it out. You could have Ashley as your tour guide, or if you're really lucky, you can have me as your tour guide, campus ambassador. You get to see the campus in a view that nobody else has. We have in-person visits. We also have live virtual visits. So if you want a presentation similar to this one, you can come check us out that way. Otherwise, you can also check out our virtual visit, which is on our website. So if you want to take like a 3D tour through, we also have a 3D map. So if you want to look at our campus from like a, looks like Sims, you can look at our campus that way as well. But biggest thing, I want to come see you all. Come check out this campus in person. I want you to come see the dining hall. You can come see DeBow, smell the food. Maybe we can even like hook you up with some food on campus. You can try it. So come check us out, visit our campus. We'd love to have you and ask us questions. So speaking of questions, if you have questions, this is what this time is for. We only have a couple minutes left, but hit us up in the Q&A. Jordan, do we have any texts, any questions from the text chat that we have about anything that we talked about today?
Well, I know me and a student, we were talking about some programs. Ashley, we're gonna have to talk because someone's thinking of possibly about this art world, this graphic design. So we were talking a little bit, but it was awesome. They like graphic design and science. So I love this combination.
Interesting.
So we'll talk about that and get some information. We'll follow up with more questions. I know we had another question in regards to tutoring and learning center. So we, Ashley was able to answer that student's question, but we do have tutoring on campus. It is free, pay through your tuition, but if you want an individual session, it is just a small fee. So we will follow up with more questions. If you do have more questions, feel free to reach out to us. Aaron and I, again, are happy to help answer your questions throughout this school year. So we are super excited that you are considering UWSP as one of your homes for this upcoming year. So thank you all so very much for attending today. And Aaron and Ashley, I'll let you finish it out today.
Yeah, so on the screen is my lovely mug before COVID-19. So that's my pre-COVID haircut. But also, you also have my direct phone number. So if you want to call me right now, you could. But also my email address, my direct email address, if you want to send me questions, comments, concerns, Or if you want to rant about your high school experience, I love doing that with students. I also love talking about bakery. So if your hometown has the best bakery in the state, hit me up. I'll be the judge of that. And then we also have the General Office of Admissions and Recruitment information as well. So you can talk to our general office information, but also text us your questions in case you haven't seen that throughout the presentation. We will still answer your questions even after this presentation is over. So let us know what you're thinking. Thanks for coming by. Oh, we can't hear you. You're on mute.
Guys, we made it to my 7th session before I didn't unmute myself.
Oh.
That's really fantastic. That's like a new record for Caitlin. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to our fantastic panelists. Couple housekeeping reminders. As you leave the session today, you will be taken to everybody's favorite thing, which is a survey. It is a 4-question survey though, so it's really not very painful. If you could answer those 4 questions for us, that would be fantastic. It does help WACAC and StriveScan improve these programs for the future. Also remember to head over to wacac.com, wacac.com, for the recordings of the sessions in the future. So you'll be able to view this recording again if you missed anything, and you'll be able to look at recordings for sessions that perhaps you weren't able to get to. So with that, we'll let everyone go about their evening. And again, thank you for being here this evening, and thanks to our fantastic panelists. Everyone have a nice night.